just told somebody that I was interested in that I had herpes, and for that being like my first time like disclosing to somebody, I just wish it went a little better, because I've never done that before. And like, is that how it's gonna be like every time? Like, am I gonna like a guy and then he's just, is it ever gonna get easier? Does it get easier telling people? I don't know how to do this. I feel like I'm in the same place I was a month ago. Like, is anybody gonna want to be with me? Just those same questions running through my head. I don't know, maybe I should have waited longer to tell him. Fuck, I don't want to fucking cry anymore. I just keep replaying it in my head. And like, as soon as I told him, his whole demeanor changed. And his body language changed, and like, maybe I went about it wrong. That was my first time getting rejected because of herpes. Do you think that that's the first time I've cried because I got rejected? Rejection sucks. Point blank period, no matter what it's for. Now, let me clarify, I have nothing against this guy. He was cool. Not once in that video did I say anything bad about him. These type of comments are to be expected. I know what I signed up for, so personally, it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't get to me. The more you comment, the more views my video gets, and I get paid for that, so more power to you. I have a voice. I have a platform. I'm gonna stick up for the people who don't. I highly encourage anybody who has herpes to disclose that. But do you think comments like this are gonna make people want to tell you? Shaming them? What's your logic? What? I don't know how many times I have to say this. Herpes is cold sores. HSV1, cold sores on your mouth. I have HSV1 genitally. You know that people have had herpes since they're like 5 years old, right?
All right, guys. So we got to talk about this TikTok that is going viral of this young Gen Z girl learning the hard way that there are consequences to your actions, okay? There are consequences to being ultra liberated and participating in behaviors that we used to shame in a decent society, because we know that there are consequences to this behavior that, you know, it seems as if our culture is pushing on young girls, which again is to be ultra liberated sexually, okay? And in the words of Otto von Bismarck, a fool learns from their own mistakes, and a wise man learns from the mistakes of others, right? So we're going to be wise men, and we're going to learn from the mistakes of others, something that she should have learned before this happened, which is that, again, there are consequences when you sleep around too much, because even though Gen Z overall, they're having less sex than prior generations, STD rates are up, okay? In fact, over almost half of new STD cases are among Gen Z, right? Between 15 and 24 years old. 46% of these new cases, again, are coming from young people, okay? With young women kind of leading the pack in some STDs, like, for example, chlamydia, right? Young women ages 10 to 24 are getting chlamydia at much higher rates than men, okay? And again, this is a problem, right? This is a problem that I don't think we talk enough about, which is the STD outbreak among Gen Z and what that means for our society and our culture, right? Because again, you have girls that are finding out that they have an STD, and they are breaking down in tears, because for once in their life, they actually have to face the consequences of their actions, right? After being told that, you know, hey, be a boss girl, right? Be a girl, be ultra liberated, sleep around with whoever you want, run your body count up. It doesn't matter, right? There are no consequences, okay? The worst thing that can happen is for you to get pregnant, and don't worry, Democrats got abortion, okay? So this is what they tell, you know, young women, okay? And again, there are consequences for that. And we got to talk about a situation in which this young woman unfortunately finds out that she has an STD, and then she runs to the internet for whatever reason to tell the world about it, right? So let's talk about it.
Today, my whole life could change, and I'm scared. Friday night, I started having a burning sensation whenever I peed. Was not pleasant. So Saturday, I went to urgent care, and they put me on medication for a UTI. So I started the UTI medication on Sunday, and then that night I noticed that my right lymph node in my groin was swollen. By Monday, the UTI meds still haven't kicked in. It still really hurt whenever I peed. So I called to make an appointment with my gyno. And it's now Wednesday. My appointment's in like half an hour. This subject is very stigmatized, has a lot of shame around it, but
as it should, right? As it should. Now, again, one of the reasons why she is posting this is because they're trying to destigmatize it, right? They don't want to shame women for getting these types of STDs that, you know, are preventable for the most part. Now, in her situation, it's a little bit more complex than that. We're going to talk about it, but they're trying to get rid of the shame factor, right? They're trying to say, well, this is normal. Okay, we shouldn't stigmatize it. But see, what people don't understand is that stigmas and shame and stereotyping, in my opinion, has a societal function, okay? It has a function that basically protects people from bad behavior, okay? When you have a society that tells women that, hey, you shouldn't sleep around with a bunch of random guys, okay, engaging in this risky behavior, it is to protect that woman from the consequences of that behavior. Again, see, this is where wisdom comes in. Again, in a good society where we have wise people, they're learning from the mistakes of others because these others have made these mistakes. These others have been shamed for making these mistakes. And shame is a function to help society and people learn from the mistakes of others without having to go through it. And that's part of the reason why our society's on a downturn, because we've gotten rid of that, right? You can't do that anymore. That's hateful, okay? But again, this doesn't just apply to people who get STDs or whatever, or women who get STDs or whatever, right? That's not who it applies. That's not what I'm talking about, right? I mean, this should be done across the board, including for men, in my opinion, who have a lot of kids out of wedlock, right? Who get multiple baby mamas pregnant, who have, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 kids living off the government that can't stop basically impregnating women, right? Those men should be shamed as well, too, because their behavior is just as destructive for society as the woman who sleeps around with a bunch of men, right? The man that sleeps around with a bunch of women, getting them pregnant, and then not taking care of the kids should be shamed just as much, right? And that shame is what prevents these type of behaviors in the first place. But in our current society, we're actually glorifying these things, right? We're glorifying the baby daddy with multiple kids, okay, by all these different baby mamas. We're glorifying the baby mama. We're glorifying the OnlyFans model, okay? We're glorifying the Instagram model. We're glorifying all these behaviors that before we lived in the same world, they were shamed. And look at the consequences, okay? It has wide impact on our society as a whole, okay?
Then I noticed warts on my genitals. Very, very painful. These last few days, I've just felt run down, icky, haven't had an appetite, uncomfortable. It hurts to walk. It hurts to sit. Everything hurts. I'm scared. If it's herpes, I know it's not the end of the world. I'm about to go to my appointment now, so I will come back with an update.
Yeah, so again, this person is extremely afraid. Okay, they're afraid because they've probably been participating in activities without using protection, which unfortunately for her, in the case of herpes, it may or may not help her too much when it comes to not contracting that disease, which is why in the real world, the physical world, the best form of protection is abstinence. And the best form of protection in the virtual world online is Virtual Shield. How often do you see ads pop up on websites and social media about things that you have talked about? Turns out it's as real and it's as creepy as it sounds. Phone manufacturers have confirmed that your phone listens to you and uses that information and data to build customer marketing profiles to show you relevant ads. Our phones basically come with adware pre-installed. This is why tens of thousands are protecting their privacy with Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield is an all-in-one security suite with their flagship military-grade VPN, identity theft protection, and much more. It offers unlimited bandwidth and device support that allows you to have a seamless and secure browsing experience across all your devices, including computers, phones, tablets, you name it. Plus, it has industry-leading kill switch technology that ensures your data stays encrypted even when the VPN connection drops. Most importantly, Virtual Shield has a no-log policy to help guarantee your online activities stay confidential. Now the best time ever to get Virtual Shield, because every new sign-up gets a 60-day risk-free trial, unlimited data across an unlimited number of devices, access to Virtual Shield's 24/7 customer support, and much more. Sign up today for free before this offer ends by going to virtualshield.com/BCP. Once again, that's virtualshield.com/BCP, or click the link in the description below.
I have herpes.
Wow.
If I want to have unprotected sex, I have to tell them.
Nah, if you want to have sex, period. If you want to have sex, period, okay? Because, again, condoms, you know, they're not foolproof against herpes, okay? They don't protect as much against herpes as some of these other STDs. So I think you're wrong about that. I think you got some misinformation on that one.
I don't know how this is going to affect my dating life. I can't give birth vaginally if I have an outbreak. I don't know. I don't fucking know how I'm supposed to tell my parents this.
But you told the world. Just send it to your TikTok, okay? Because apparently you have no problems with the whole world knowing, okay? Millions of people, because this video has racked up millions of views. You have no problem with millions of people knowing, but you got a big problem with your parents knowing, as if your parents weren't going to eventually find out, given the fact that millions of people are exposed to this TikTok. But again, this really tells you how messed up our society is when it comes to social media, right? We're quick to share literally in and everything on social media, even things that we're not comfortable with our parents knowing, but we're comfortable with millions of strangers knowing. Again, amazing stuff. We're really living an upside down world here.
It's also just fucking painful. And I'm gonna have these outbreaks for the rest of my life.
Maybe. It depends. If you're one of the unlucky ones, then maybe. But for the most part, once you get the first one, then, you know, it's kind of smooth sailing. So it's not the end of the world, right? It's not the end of the world. But again, this is permanent. This is permanent. But again, this is a consequence of, you know, actions that you participated in, right? Things that you did. So now you have to live with it. Okay, and once you actually have to live with that reality, it hurt. It probably hurts worse than the virus itself. Okay, but again, this is what traditionalists, what, you know, males who were called, you know, sexist and misogynist and bigots, this is what men were trying to say. Look, you shouldn't do this, right? These are not behaviors you should be participating in because it leads to bad consequences. But again, those people who, you know, try to tell women that, hey, this is not the lifestyle you want to live, right? You're going to regret this in the future. Oh, you're just sexist. Oh, you just want you just want to keep me in the house, right? You hate women. It's like, no, we don't hate women. We love women. And we're trying to protect women from the consequences of their actions, right? From having to go through this type of emotional pain because they found out that, you know, they got a virus that they're going to have to live with for the rest of their lives. From, again, irresponsible behavior.
I feel like my parents are going to be so disappointed in me.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? Prime example of what happens when women actually have to face accountability and responsibility, right? Not even just a woman thing, Gen Z, right? I think this is a Gen Z thing, okay? There's a reason why, you know, people who have more life experience on this earth, you know, say the things they say, right? Everybody's not just having to stick up their butt and trying to, walk around and not have fun or not enjoy life. That's not it, right? People understand that, hey, there are consequences to this type of actions, and, these are one of the consequences, right? But again, this is something that what they're trying to do now is they're trying to destigmatize it, right? They're trying to take away the stigma. They're trying to say, oh, well, it's normal. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And that's how you get more of it, right? That's how you get a lot more of it. Again, you have 20% of Gen Z. They're not taking STD tests, right? They're like, nah, I'm just not gonna take an STD test, right? And you wonder why. Again, the rates are increasing. It's because they're literally just saying, nah, I'm not gonna take an STD test. I shouldn't face any accountability or responsibility for any of my actions. Let me just do whatever I want to do. I'm not even gonna check, right? I'm not even gonna try to protect other people, okay, from my actions, right? From my behaviors, okay? Again, it's amazing stuff. But again, this is what happens when you have a society that, you're not allowed to call out this behavior and to call it what it is and to, try to change this type of behavior. No, you either have to glorify it or you're hateful, right? This is what they tell people. And this is the result. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.